The restaurant was bustling on a Friday evening, filled with the usual chatter of families, businessmen, and couples out for dinner. Emma, a young waitress with tired eyes but a warm smile, moved gracefully between the tables, balancing trays and jotting down orders. She had been working double shifts for weeks, trying to save enough money to help her younger brother with college fees. Every tip counted, every extra hour mattered. But that night, everything changed. Just as the dinner rush reached its peak, the glass doors swung open with a loud creak. A group of 6 bikers in leather jackets walked in. The sound of their heavy boots echoed across the floor, and conversations slowed. Some customers frowned, a few even whispered. The bikers carried an intimidating presence, but Emma didn't flinch. She greeted them with the same politeness she showed everyone else. "Good evening, table for 6, she asked with her usual gentle tone. They nodded, and she led them to a corner booth. She noticed the way the manager's eyes narrowed at her choice. Still, she smiled and handed the men menace. The bikers weren't rowdy, in fact, they were quiet, tired from the long ride. They ordered burgers, fries, and coffee, nothing out of the ordinary. Emma served them like she did with every other customer, making sure they had everything they needed. But when the manager spotted her delivering their food, his face turned red. "Emma, office. Now," he barked. Confused, she hurried behind the counter where he glared at her. "I told you before, we don't serve their kind here. Those bikers scare off our real customers. And you ignored my instructions." His voice was cold. Emma's chest tightened. "But they were polite, sir. They ordered food like anyone else. They deserve to eat, too." The manager slammed his fist on the desk. "You're fired. Clear out your locker and leave." Her stomach dropped. Fired. For doing her job. For showing kindness. Tears burned in her eyes, but she swallowed them back, refusing to break down in front of him. She walked out quietly, past the bikers who were still eating. She didn't say a word. That night, she sat on her bed in her tiny apartment, holding her brother's tuition bill in her hands. She had no idea how she would manage. The shame of being fired weighed heavy, but so did the fear of failing her family. The next day, Emma walked into town, desperately searching for help-wanted signs. With each rejection, her heart sank deeper. She stopped at a small cafe, more to rest her tired feet than to apply for work. The bell above the door jingled as she walked in, and to her surprise, the place was filled with the same group of bikers from the night before. One of them stood up immediately. "Hey, it's you, the waitress." Emma froze, embarrassed. "Yes, Slum, I don't work there anymore." The bikers exchanged glances, then one with a gray beard stepped closer. "We know. We saw what happened. We couldn't believe it." Emma's cheeks flushed. I was only doing my job." The man smiled kindly. "And you did it with respect. Most people treat us like trash, but you didn't. That means more than you know." Before she could respond, the cafe owner walked over. "Emma, is it? I've heard about you. These gentlemen told me how you lost your job for serving them." Her eyes widened. "They told you?" "Yes." The owner nodded. "And we could use someone like you here. Someone who treats people right no matter who they are. How would you like a job?" Emma's breath caught. "A job? So quickly?" She blinked back tears of relief. I'd love that. Thank you." The bikers grinned and clapped her on the back, as if she were one of their own. Over the next weeks, Emma worked at the cafe, where the atmosphere was warm, welcoming, and filled with laughter. The bikers became regulars, always sitting at the same table, always tipping generously. But the story didn't end there. One afternoon, a local reporter came by, curious about the unusual friendship between a young waitress and a group of leather-clad bikers. Emma hesitated at first, but eventually shared her story, not out of bitterness, but to show the importance of kindness. The article spread quickly. People were moved by the courage of a waitress who lost her job simply for treating others with respect. Within days, the cafe was overflowing with customers. Many came just to meet Emma, to shake her hand, to tell her they admired her for standing up for what was right. The cafe thrived, and Emma not only paid her brother's tuition, but also started saving for her own dreams. Months later, Emma passed by her old workplace. The restaurant looked emptier, quieter, and the manager stood outside, watching as she walked by, head held high. He didn't say a word, but she didn't need him to. She had found something far greater than a job. She had found dignity, respect, and a family she never expected. As for the bikers, they never let her forget that one small act of kindness can change everything.